I'm your daddy.
Yeah.
Like, by the way. So we are back. We did our therapy session, and I hate that it's called like therapy because it's not really like therapy. It's not, I mean, it's mandatory, but it's not like, they're not judging us on whether we're going to be good parents or not. It's just to help us in the future with like questions and legal stuff.
It's more of an understanding of what the process we're going through.
Yeah, like if our child were to come home and say, "Where's daddy?" Like, obviously we're going to be straightforward with them, but like she basically told us that, you know how some people give blood? Well, that's how people, you know, they give sperm to help others create a family, and the doctor is the one that helped us create this family. And a lot of families are just based off love. Most families are built on love, and some people are raised by their aunts and uncles, some people are raised by their grandparents. So that's, you know, like, it was just basically to make us feel more comfortable about the whole situation. And there's a lot of people that are like, are you doing this because you're a same-sex couple? Like, is it mandatory because of that? But it's not. Like, we have a straight couple that is going through the whole process too, and they also had to see the therapist. So it's not just because we're in a same-sex relationship.
Right.
So we'll answer some of your questions. Okay, I wrote them down on this little piece of paper.
Let's go.
Number 1, why don't you use a friend to give you the sperm?
Well, we thought about that in the beginning, and we had the perfect guy, but we don't want our kids growing up and like seeing him at like birthday parties and being like,
Yeah.
Is that my dad?
Well, not that like if they would question if that's their father, but like our friend, if they were to donate their sperm, like we don't want them to go to our son's birthday and be like, I'm your daddy,
Yeah.
like, by the way. So we were just like, we were concerned about that and the whole legal aspect, and just, we were just thinking about later down the road, just in case. It's just weird.
Yeah. But you are still perfect.
Aw, you know who you are. Why are you doing all of these tests? Is the next question. Well, I have to do all these tests because it's just mandatory. If you're gonna use a donor, they just wanna make sure that your body is like compatible, or your body is in good shape to receive, you know, the sperm and everything. So, and they wanna make sure with FDA laws and all that and rules, they have to follow all these guidelines. It can't just be like,
And also to make sure that you could get pregnant and they're not wasting your money
yeah.
on nothing. So they want to make sure that you're able to produce eggs and all that stuff. So
Yeah, that's a huge thing, because there's like, you know, there's some clinics that could just be like, oh, okay, let's do it, let's get you pregnant, and then they skip the HSG test, they skip all that tests, like all those tests, and then all of a sudden you find out you can't get pregnant. So it's kind of just, you know, to make sure, right?
like a cautionary thing.
Does insurance cover any of the tests or the pregnancy, is another question.
I mean, it obviously depends on what type of insurance you have. Our insurance is really good, but it still doesn't cover anything except for most likely the blood work, because that's normal blood work to check your levels.
Yeah.
But any other thing, it doesn't cover.
I mean, like the delivery.
Besides, like, you know, the normal pregnancy at the hospital stuff, whatever your insurance covers. So ours is, you know, a copay every time we're at the hospital. But you always just want to check with your insurance company to see what they do cover, because every insurance is different.
Yeah. So, but the tests, not really.
None of the IUI procedure or anything is covered, and it won't be. I've checked multiple insurance companies, but they don't cover it. So.
And then the other question is, how expensive is the whole process? So the grand total for us, it's going to range for people, because depending on how many like things of sperm that you get, we got 3
Vials.
vials, and it was what?
It's about $1,400.
$1,400, and
But
that's just for the 3 vials of sperm.
that also depends on like what sperm bank you use, because everyone's, vials are different prices. And also you have to freeze the sperm if you buy more. So it just depends on what agency you go through.
Yeah. So like we bought 3, like we said. So if it doesn't work the first time, then we can use a second one. Or if it does work the first time, we could freeze the other 2. So if we want our children to have siblings, they'll be frozen. And we'll have them. But as far as the tests go, like what were the blood work? The blood works were like that was covered under our insurance, right?
Yeah. I forgot what question we were on.
How expensive? She worked today, so she's tired.
Yeah, the blood work was covered under insurance. You have to pay for, obviously, the doctor you go to, the initial visit. And then from there, you have to pay for the ultrasounds. They're not covered by insurance. I think those, depending on what doctor you use, our initial visit was like $360, and then the ultrasounds and everything depended between like $200 to $300 every time you go. And then the procedure itself is $700. And that's including the pre-ultrasounds and everything. So that's
like the
a
insemination and then the like tomorrow I have to go to my ultrasound to make sure everything looks good or whatever. And then that's included in the $700. But a grand total for us is going to be
about $4,000.
About $4,000. So, is Missy having a child at the same time?
Nope.
We thought about it.
Absolutely not.
Actually, my coworker and I thought about pitching a reality show where we both get pregnant together.
I would only do that, but I don't. It's on this hormone.
If Missy was getting paid, she would get pregnant with me, but she's not. So she's not having a child at the same time as me. Is Missy doing all of these tests too, just in case?
Nope.
No. So, I mean, if I don't work,
then I eventually will do it, but
yeah, it's just a lot to come out of pocket if we were both to do it at the same time. So, kind of just praying on me.
If it doesn't, then I'll definitely do it, but
yeah,
she's the younger one.
I'm the younger one. Even though my cervical reserve doesn't say so.
It's okay.
What bank are you using for your donor?
We started off with the Fairfax Bank, because that's where I was born and everything. So we wanted something kind of, to resemble me, I guess you could say. But because of the CMV test, we had to switch donors, and now we're using the Seattle Sperm Bank, which they're awesome. You can call them for anything, and they will answer your questions no matter what time of day it is. They're very, very good.
And the thing is that I had some people reach out to me saying, like, how did you hear his voice? Like, how did you see all this stuff? If you sign up for, like, some of their websites, what was it, like $50 for 3 months?
Yeah.
It was $50 for 3 months, and you can look at all the donors, and you can hear your donor interview. They ask him questions, and you can hear his voice. You can hear the employees that work at the bank. You can hear the reaction to the donor, like how their impersonation or whatever of him. Right?
Yeah, you have the medical history. You have like a handwritten essay from the donor. You should.
But it comes with like the whole family medical background, his education, everything. Like everything you need to know about this guy, it's there in that profile, and that is all online. Like I said, so you can sign up for that. But we're going through Seattle.
Sperm Bank.
Where are you getting the insemination from? We're going with Advanced Reproductive Specialists of Orlando. That's the one that we're going with. Our friend was using them and had nothing but wonderful things to say about them. But there are a ton of great places in Central Florida that, are all about same sex and insemination and helping you get, pregnant and all that stuff. When the baby is born, are both parents on the birth certificate? Yes.
Yes, but I spoke to some of my friends that are lawyers, and they said that you have to call the hospital and go through the legal department just to double check, but we could do also like an adoption. So if anything, like say we're out of state in another state that doesn't legalize gay marriage, that I will have rights over our child.
Yeah, so basically there's some states that still don't allow both same-sex parents to be on the baby's birth certificate. But luckily in Florida, I think it was last year, the beginning of last year, they passed it where same-sex like couples, if they're married and everything, they do have to be on the birth certificate. But if we were to go somewhere else and something were to happen to me and, you know, our child was there, the whole adoption thing would possibly have to kick in, because if they don't recognize the same-sex marriage on the birth certificate, I don't know, it's like a whole thing.
I'm still researching it, so once we like go deep into it, I'm gonna call the hospitals and everything and see what we need to do, and then reach out to like the state attorney's office and see if there's any paperwork we need to fill out. But once we get to that point, we'll keep you guys updated on how that's going.
But as of right now, we're both on the birth certificate.
Yeah.
Have you picked names?
I mean, I have.
We do have some names that we were thinking about. We like Leonardo. We like Luciana.
Lucia.
So those are just some, obviously, real Italian names that we like. Will you still work after? Yes.
Yes. I will be working during. No, I'm just kidding.
We might actually do it where for my maternity leave, Missy is with me for like the first couple of weeks, but then towards the end of my maternity leave, she's gonna go back to work. So when I go back to work, she can stay home a couple of weeks. So she won't be using all of her.
I'll probably do like the first 2 weeks and then take off maybe like 2 or 3 weeks at the end, depending on how much time I have left. But we're gonna split it up.
Yeah.
And hopefully we'll have family for a couple months.
Hopefully grandma and grandpa will be here. Breastfeed, yes.
Good nutrition for the baby.
I will try my hardest to breastfeed and see how that works. I know some people it's very difficult, you know, like you have to take latching classes so the baby like knows how to latch on and all that stuff. So, but I'm gonna try my hardest to breastfeed. And how did you decide who was carrying the baby?
Sounded younger.
She's a little bitter.
I ain't bitter. I just don't want to mess up my body
At
at this old age.
Oh, she doesn't want to mess up her body at this old age. No, so basically when we first went there, I was asking about the whole thing too, if she could get pregnant and all that. But they were just concerned because, you know, after 30, it's a high-risk pregnancy. That's what they consider, which is kind of crazy because people get pregnant now in their 40s. But since she's 33...
Hey, don't tell my age.
People already know. We already said it in the last...
Motto, did you just toot?
Our dog farts in every video. What in the freaking...
Hey guys.
Oh my god. Okay.
Out of control.
So anyways,
Well,
yeah. So
just
there's that.
it's a little taste of our dog of what's gonna happen when we have a child and we do these videos. It's gonna be all over the place. Right, Moodskis?
He's taking over our lives. Anyways, so if you have any more questions, or we're not done yet.
Oh, sorry.
If you have any more questions or, you know, concerns, whatever, if you're going through the whole process, put your butt down. Just let us know and we will answer them for you or try to, and good luck.
Good luck.
Say bye. Oh my gosh. Thank you for watching. Subscribe if you want to watch more.
Smile. You're on candid camera.